told to estimate values, which are the lines that we use? This is a very important part of the question. You have to know how to answer. Okay, so I put it in the table here for you. Okay, if y is dependent on x, then we use the y on x. If x is dependent on y, then we use the x on y. But if there is no dependence, then when you are given y, you need to estimate value of x, you use this. When you need to estimate x given y, you use this. Okay? These two actually depends on the context of the question. Now, sometimes the question can be very tricky. Okay, later I will talk to you about this. But in the rule of the thumb, so firstly, from the previous example, we have these two. We have these two regression line. One is y on x and the other one is x on y. Okay? So if the question wants you to find y when x is equals to 70, which is the one that you should use? You should use this. Or when x is equals to 70, because you are given the independent variable. Y equals to, use your calculator, 1.066 bracket 70 plus 119.85, and then you find your answer in 3SF. If the question asks you to find x when you are given y, then you use this as the rule of the thumb first. Okay, it's better to use the one that is given from the calculator, because this might be a mistake. You might make a mistake in making y the subject. Okay, so when the question asks you to estimate x when you're given y, then you use the x on y regression line. Okay, but these will all change if there is a context of the question, like this. Now, I tell you that x represents the air temperature and y represents the wind speed. Okay, so in this question, it is said that, hey, my air temperature actually is dependent on the wind speed actually depends on the air temperature. So I know that this is a y on x question. Okay, how fast the wind speed depends on the temperature. If the temperature is higher, then the wind speed is lower. Okay, on the vice versa. Okay, so in this case, both of your answer over here, you have to use the y on x line to help you find, even though they gave you y and you're supposed to find x. So both of them will use this. Whenever the context of the question is given to you, you have to first determine, is this a y dependent on x or x dependent on y kind of question. So regardless of whatever variables they ask you to find, you have to use the correct regression line to find the answer.